Congratulations. Is this a close family member getting married?
A niece of mine, yeah.
Oh, congratulations. That's great. Is that taking place in
It's actually
Los
going to be
Angeles?
in Newport Beach. Have you ever been down near Dana Point before, down here?
I I have, yes. It's a beautiful area.
Exactly. So, wow. I'm surprised about this David Freeze deal. What's his name? Mozeliak had given me a call 3, 4 months back. Uh,
Okay.
towards the,
Which side of that deal do you like better?
I'm a real big fan of I don't know how you pronounce his name, Kritchik. Uh,
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
but so I think I like uh, St. Louis in this situation.
Yeah, we've always been big fans of Borges, too. We've gotten to see him play a lot. His defense has been tremendous against us. It's really been game changing. And watching the playoffs this year, it certainly seems like that's a huge get for St. Louis in terms of one of their deficiencies in the postseason. For whatever reason, John Jay seemed to struggle a little bit out there. And this guy can flat out run it down in the outfield.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by the whole thing. Congratulations to you about. You're still the big news of the week.
Oh, it was amazing. You know the drill on some of these things, like how some things take 3 to 4 weeks to come to fruition, and other things take 24 hours. And Dave kind of reached out to us and was very specific as to his thoughts. And quite frankly, I mean, you know, because we had talked to you also about a similar concept with one of your outfielders.
Exactly.
We were open to it, but it was, we went from 0 to 50 pretty quickly, and then it was get the owners involved, and we were able to turn it around. I think we were sensitive as we were with you guys. Like, I know you had expressed to JD, like, we absolutely want to keep this one under wraps, considering the quality and magnitude of the players. And I think Dave was, felt that to an extreme, so he kind of put it to us, hey, if this has legs, let's see if we can bring it to completion. If not, we'll walk away right now. But once we showed some interest, it picked up speed pretty quickly.
Yeah. Are you guys still interested in camp or Ethier or anything? Because I spoke to Shapiro earlier. Indians are really they're trying to just get us to throw some money in for Ethier's deal, and it's one of the only things holding it up at this point is that situation holding with that and seeing still of what you guys think.
Yeah, I think, and if you don't mind, I would love to obviously make sure I run it by JD, especially something that's this big. But I think from what we just did, I think the next move we're going to have to make is going to be a meaningfully lower price point. I think this probably marks our big investment of the offseason. We'll still play on bats, but probably on a lower tier than even your outfielders or some of the guys out in the marketplace who at least are posturing as if they're going to get $90+ million.
Excellent. Yeah. So I'm thinking of a creative deal here. What about Adam Rosales? When did you guys even acquire him? I was surprised about. I didn't see that. I didn't realize it was in your system.
We had last year we played a little ping pong with Oakland. They put him on outright waivers at one point. We claimed him. This was the second half of the season. We then put him on outright waivers. They claimed him. They then put him back out, and we claimed him again. So he didn't actually get too much playing time with either team, quite frankly. But he went back and forth a number of times on outright waivers. And then, it's just from our perspective, we ended up signing him pretty quickly at the end of the offseason. He's a second-time arbitration eligible guy, but we didn't want to go through the process with him. But we do see real value. He can play all 4 infield positions. He can run a little bit. Great makeup guy. So for our infield, where we're probably not, he's not going to see a ton of at bats. He's a perfect guy to have on the bench because he's very versatile and he seems to bring a lot of energy to the ballpark and not get on Wash's bad list for griping about not playing too much. So he was a pretty good fit for us, and just one of those things that we're all looking for that type of guy, that extra guy who can actually hold down shortstop for a couple games if for some reason something happened at the major league level. So decent guy, but not the best offensive player, but he certainly seems to fit for us a little bit right now.
Is there anyone equivalent that you think that you because we just lost Punta and we just lost Shoemaker, and they're just trying to think about for reserve on the bench, or because I thought he was a great player, coming up through the whole system. Oh, we'll have
Yeah,
to see how it goes, though. For spring
we're
training.
not adverse to talking about him for sure. I think we liked keeping him just because it meant we didn't have to go out on the free agent market to find that guy. But if there was a deal that fit, I'd certainly, quite certainly talk about him.
Yeah, and I had heard. I don't know. I was talking to Jerry over at the LA Angels about some three-team deal between you, the Mets, and the Angels for Andrus going to the Mets. What's going on with that?
If that's a three-team deal and we're supposed to be involved, someone may need to pick up the phone and call us.
I don't know what's going on. I was because a son of mine, he's flipping around on the MLB network. Kind of a conflict of interest is what I see with that. I went ever just trades in the division. Even with us having that Uribe, he's trying to get us for 3 years right now. We just wanted, and he only really was a real asset to us the last 4 months of the year. So of this final year of the deal.
Played well down the stretch for you guys.
I know, and it's something that we want him for 2 years at the most, and he wants it for 3. So I think that we're gonna have to lock it in, and it was a real good thing when we took him away from the Giants. It didn't pay off at first, but this year it was really real good. But
Now, from a position standpoint, what positions do you still feel he's? Obviously, he can play third base well. Do you still feel like he can play the middle of the diamond okay?
oh, for sure.
Yeah. So you see, because I was in Colorado. He actually predated me in Colorado, but the crazy thing is, I guess when they signed him, he literally was like 140 pounds, which is hard to envision now. He's a big man.
I mean, if something were to go down where we lose, that Adrian Gonzalez for a specific period of time, I would put Uribe, or I would tell Donnie to move him over to first because it gives us more. I mean, that would be a nightmare scenario. Don't get me wrong on that, but yeah, we lose anyone like that for any big period of time. I mean, we there's not a big player for us to move and get, and for you guys to go get Prince Fielder it's a big accomplishment.
I appreciate it. It's certainly not something we were expecting to do this offseason, and when it was presented to us, it just felt like too good of a fit for both teams. I think we needed power, obviously, and they needed probably height level of defense and athleticism and base running, and I think we were able to fill both holes. I'm guessing they'll move Miguel Cabrera to first base to help preserve him, but I don't know that for a fact. But it certainly fills a big hole for us.
I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, but what if I were to we need to move Ethier, and trying to say that maybe go Ethier to the Mets. John Buck goes back somewhere, and I mean, what's the catcher situation for? I mean, you're gonna go with Soto and then maybe someone else, or?
Yeah, we talked to Soto about coming back, and I think we're going to give him a chance to be our frontline guy. But for us, that's probably 90 to 100 games. So we're going to need to get a second guy who can catch, for sure. But I think we're going to give Soto the chance to be the opening day catcher,
Cool.
For whatever that ends up being for us.
Yeah, so I was thinking, because it seems like the Mets can take on most of this Ethier contract, and we'd only have to put in how much of the Tigers? Their Tigers are putting in a lot the other way. For you guys, that's good. And then Kinsler's contract, man, Kinsler would have helped us, but I wasn't. Is there a reason you think his power is going down?
It's a good question. One of the things that when he was at his best power wise, I'm sure you guys see it the same way yourself. He was pretty much a dead pull guy. We've challenged him periodically to try to use more of the field. I think he was more effective in doing that, but in so doing, I think he lost some of those doesn't explain all of it. I I don't know that I guess when he was a 30 home run guy, we never saw him really as a 30 home run guy, but we still envisioned if he came back, I think we were expecting 18 to 20 or so out of him. I know he hasn't reached that the last 2 years, but I don't think we have anything we put our finger on that would suggest why that's happening. He's still, in our opinion, a very productive offensive player, and if you kind of add on the extra 5 to 6 home runs, he gets back up to the slugging percentage he had at some of his better years. Still a lot of doubles, still extremely good base runner.
Yeah.
So he's able to turn a lot of singles into doubles or singles, go first to third. He's probably instinctually as good a player as we have. But yeah, the power was down, and I don't know that we were able to put our finger on it. Now, of course, he did it twice, so it's not like it was a one-year spike. He did it and then didn't do it the next year, then did it again. He had those 2 out of 3 years where he was 30, and it wasn't back-to-back season, so he did prove he was capable of doing it. I just don't know if he's got a little bit older. He's changed his offensive approach a little bit, using more of the field, and a little bit less, pull-centric, because I do believe that's where he was getting the vast majority of his home runs.
Yeah, he's a real good. Is he a good clubhouse guy?
Yes, he is. He's one of these guys. You kind of win at all costs type guys. He's colorblind to everything. He judges everything based upon does this help us win or does it not help us win.
We're trying to think about getting Tanaka. Now, you guys went and got Darvish. This posting fee is crazy. I know that you're the one. Well, I don't know if you were on staff when they pulled him in, but the posting fee I think is $62 million for us, and I don't know who else is going to be able to post it. I think that maybe the Red Sox will, but I mean, Darvish has been a tremendous deal. No. Well, this thing with John Buck, he could be someone that could be. I don't know what his contract is. I know that when he left Toronto, it was restructured when he joined the Mets. Obviously, I mean, we're going to be. We want to make sure that we're staying competitive and we're adding someone significant. So, because we got a lot of. Honestly, AJ Ellis, he's a good catcher, and I'm thinking. That's why I called Mark Shapiro earlier, and my predecessor, he made the, quite frankly, idiotic decision of getting rid of Carlos Santana. So he's locked in for a huge deal there, and there's no way that's going to work. But do you know if anyone's got interest in Billingsley, or have you heard?
No, I haven't. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Guerrero?
The one that we acquired?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm impressed. But I'm not confident. He's different, he's more religious than, Yasiel. He's more committed to the game. And I don't want to say that he's going to... He's got some base running errors, just that kind of boggle your mind. And, in the Cuban League, he was getting thrown out, 1 out every 3 times. So a little concerned about that, and speed's never going to be something that he's on top of. But he's something that we're going to have to hold on to, I'll tell you that, and probably not bring up immediately. Now, we got so much trouble because we didn't bring up Puig immediately to start the year, but I'll tell you what, man, it's just Puig really commit himself to the game.
Yeah, he's a tremendous player. He's definitely fun to watch. Looks like the type of guy you're going to need to harness, but once you do it, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Now with Prince, his dad is amazing. I've known his dad for years now. He's going to get you, you keep him, let's say 3-4 years, you're going to get a certain premium on a home run, I'd say, and if he can just get where he can, slide in and get a couple more doubles here or there, that's the only thing,
Excellent.
Yeah. Strong player. Yeah, I mean, Kenley Jansen put it together for us for this season, this couple months, and that's a principal concern of mine. But, I was seeing that the Orioles are offering, I forget the gentleman's, the closer. Um, offering him, and I'm thinking something like that might work. But years ago, we went, the Dodgers went and got Trombley, and that never worked out, or Hendrickson. So, kind of when you make a deal with a team, sometimes it's bad luck to go back and do it if it didn't quite work out. But Kenley's a good player, but gonna see how his contract can be.
Yeah, we've always liked him.
Cool. Well, so there's no interest really to move Ethier into the lineup there.
Can I tell you what? Why don't we do this? I'll probably end up talking to JD here shortly.
Okay.
Why don't we kick around? We can call you back.
Sounds great. I'll be here most of the day.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right. You too. Bye bye.